Yo, what's up boys? Game sense is a huge aspect of Fortnite that a lot of people overlook. When people think about improving at Fortnite, they usually think about improving piece control, aim, edits, all of that. Honestly, in tournaments and endgame scrims, mechanics don't mean that much. Like, look at these West players that have switched to controller. They've just switched to controller and they're still doing really well in tournaments. That's because they have the experience, that's because they have the game sense, not the mechanics. They're not quad editing on anybody. There are a couple outliers like No Riley and Vidil and stuff. Those guys still have a huge amount of game sense. They know how to play the game. They've been VOD reviewed by professional coaches, all of this stuff. They know how to play the game from a game sense level. What I'm trying to say is, if you have a huge amount of game sense and just a little bit of mechanics, you don't really need to be able to do these quad edits and stuff like that. You just need to be able to box up, you need to be able to piece control, you need to be able to hit your shots, you need to be able to take awesome right hand peaks. But as soon as you've got the basics down, you can just work on your game sense. You will get better mechanically as time goes on. You don't have to fully focus on becoming a mechanical demon. If you focus on becoming the smartest player you can possibly be, along the line you'll become better mechanically. You don't really have to think about getting better mechanically. Let's take a look at Tayson. He recently won the solo FNCS All-Star event, and he said in an interview that while he was becoming a pro player, he was playing 5 to 6 hours of scrims every day, and he splits his day into 20% arena and 80% scrims. So Tayson, the guy that won 3 FNCSs, 2 of them being solo FNCSs and 2 of them being back-to-back, spends 20% of his day working on his fighting and mechanics and 80% of his day working on his game sense and end games. That alone should prove why game sense is way more important than mechanics. Now, if you still think that mechanics are way more important than game sense or whatever, I don't think you do. Let's split mechanics into 2 separate parts. The fighting IQ, right hand peaks, using movement in order to hit right hand peaks properly, knowing what to do with your mechanics, and the actual mechanical ability to press the keys quick enough to edit really quickly, to quad edit, to do these high ground retakes and stuff. Fighting IQ still comes under game sense. Knowing what to do with your mechanics is game sense, is fighting IQ. So your argument of mechanics are you need them to win fights and stuff. You need to be able to do the basics and fundamentals, and then the fighting IQ, which is knowing what you need to do with the basics and fundamentals in order to win fights consistently. Anyway, that's why I think actively working on your game sense, playing scrims, watching VODs, all of this stuff is way more valuable than actively working on your mechanics, as while you're working on your game sense, mechanics will improve anyway. Thanks for listening, and let me know what you think in the comments.